What are some simple tips? If an investor's sitting here, what are some simple tips that you can give to get started on building that network that perhaps people aren't familiar with?
Well, I mean, that's a great thing. I mean, first, I would say just have the mentality of give first, right? I mean, that's always kind of been my mentality. You know, I spent 20 years building the Entrepreneurs Organization, 4-year stint building YPO and now Deal Gateway. And I just had this mentality. Anybody that I met, I would just think, okay, how can I help them? How can I give first? Brad Feld, one of my good mentors, co-founder of Techstars. Techstars has created $14 billion in shareholder value. He's probably one of the most successful investors on the planet. And that's his philosophy, give first. And I remember chatting with him, right, because everybody wanting to get at him for deal flow and this, that, and the other. And he said, why don't you study up on what some of my passions are, right? And one of his passions is mental health. And he's very open about that in his blog, that he's suffered from depression. And him and I, we've known each other 30 years, but that was an opportunity for me to come alongside him and get to know him and support him in one of his initiatives. And what's resulted in that? Lots. Right? You know, he's a supporter of the Gateway, right? And we've done many, many projects. So for the average investor, just some thought processes. I would say, so how do you give first? Maybe you could volunteer your time to be an advisor at a local university, right? So maybe you've got a domain expertise in strategy or doing business in Asia. There's an abundance of deal flow coming out of universities and the research arms at universities. And one of the gaps there is that, and the stats that are out there is that universities have an incredibly difficult time in commercializing those. So just an idea for your investors in the spirit of give first, why don't you connect with a local university and maybe the Student Entrepreneur Club, volunteer to be a speaker, you know, and just get yourself in the flow of meeting those great entrepreneurial companies, but in the spirit of give first, like not going there, I want to join that university entrepreneurship club or community organization because I'm going to find deal flow. Go with the mentality of give first. So there's a great book I highly recommend for any investor to read. And he was one of my mentors, Harvey Mackay, Swim with the Sharks Without Being Eaten Alive. I just highly, highly recommend that. So for the investor, if you're looking to network with entrepreneurs, this, that, and the other, what the McKay said is that do your homework. Like actually do your homework and study up on that entrepreneur.